I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take
Airlines Arena where the banner hangs outside. They want a championship for the basketball team like the hockey team got just 2 days ago. We are set for game 4 as we check our Bud Light starting lineups. And here's how they look. San Antonio, Bruce Bowen, Richard Jefferson, David Robinson and Jason Collins, Tim Duncan and Kenyon Martin. And the backcourts, we talked about the matchup of those two. Tony Parker and Jason Kidd, Stephen Jackson and Kerry Kittles. And Kittles had his best game in game 3.
A very poised, very confident and extremely professional San Antonio Spurs approach to this game. This game of victory gives the Spurs the title. The lessons, the messages from Greg Popovich stay the same. Play the team game, the defense, and then outwork them.
And that's the way San Antonio goes about their business throughout the regular season, preseason, postseason. They're just going to be businesslike, not too high, not too low. Now, New Jersey, being at home, you got to find a way early to get this crowd aroused, get them into it, get out on the fast break, and get everyone feeling like we have a chance to win this series.
I think Joe Piscopo already did a pretty good job of doing that.
He got them going before the starting lineups were announced. And now everybody's up. And we're set for game 4. Mike Callahan, Eddie Rush, Bernie Fryer, our officials, Collins and Robinson, and we're underway at the Meadowlands.
But New Jersey needs to, I'm talking about Jefferson smashing on somebody, Martin smashing on somebody, Kittles hitting a 3. That's the way to get yourself going and get the crowd into it.
You can't lose your head out there, Tom.
Steve Jackson inside, missed the first shot in close, and Tim Duncan hustles for the rebound and walked with it.
They had roller skates on.
Get on the run if you're the Nets right now. That's their game. They have not played it. One of the lowest scoring finals performances in the history of the game.
Here's Jefferson, the guy that Tom talked about in the open. Straight up with the first shot. Off the front of the iron, and Jackson the rebound.
See, I think New Jersey plays a little bit better when they're maybe a little wild. Just get out there and go and use your athleticism. And I think they need to try to get San Antonio out of their business-like approach.
Here's Mr. Business, Tim Duncan. Against Kenyon Martin. He'll go baseline. And Jefferson way up for the rebound. Kidd down to Martin.
Tough
right
pass.
back to Kidd.
Well, that was one of those high risk, not a lot of reward.
Kenyon Martin's jump hook. Tipped in. That might help Richard Jefferson.
Yeah, those things get you going. Just easy buckets. It gives you confidence to step out and further add stuff to your game. Or add further stuff, one way or the other.
One of those.
Nice double team, Jason Kidd.
Here's Tony Parker. Baseline jumper's too strong. Jefferson's got another rebound, and Kidd looking to push it.
I think the extra day off has helped the net. They look fresher.
You can tell that already?
Absolutely. We're a minute
40
seconds in.
Okay.
Out of bounds to San Antonio.
That was pretty fresh.
So the Spurs so far shut it off 0 for 4 from the floor.
Still no backcourt pressure by Jason Kidd. Is he wearing down, trying to stay with the younger, quicker Tony Parker?
Parker had it blocked. I think it was Jefferson that got the hand on it.
Two good things already for Richard Jefferson.
Jason Kidd, his jumper doesn't go, and Duncan the rebound.
Again, no offensive rebounds whatsoever for the Nets.
There was nobody even close to Duncan.
Oh, that's a push.
From behind on Kenyon Martin.
A terrible foul for Kenyon Martin, who has been plagued by fouls the entire series. While Tim Duncan, as Mike Tirico said in the pregame show, is playing literally the entire game every night. Kenyon Martin only gets to play 3/4 of the tilt because of the excessive fouling.
Kenyon Martin is fouled out of one. There's a backdoor cut by Parker, and the great feed by Duncan. I'm going to say Martin fouled out of one game and had 5 fouls in the other 2.
We've seen that this playoff series with Weber, Stojakovic, Nowitzki, Nash. The little guy rubbing off the big guy. And if you have a big guy that can pass, boy, that's tough to stop.
Particularly utilizing the pivot foot. Jefferson continues to struggle inside.
Kenyon Martin, and he's fouled, and that's going to be Duncan. And that draws a big cheer from the fans.
Well, I'm not so sure Richard Jefferson didn't get fouled on that drive. But you have to be able to let that kind of stuff go. And after he misses, Kenyon Martin takes it strong to the hole.
I don't see a foul there.
And yeah, I saw more of a foul in the first drive than I said the second one.
You're talking about incredible defensive forces here. David Robinson is the 4th all-time leading shot blocker in NBA playoff history, behind Kareem, who's here, behind Akeem Olajuwon, and just a couple of blocks behind Robert Parrish, who's going into the Hall of Fame. You could go up with Tim Duncan, who's also always first-team All-NBA defense. It's tough to score in there.
The free throw story since last we met, Byron Scott came out and said, wait a minute, Spurs have shot 30 more free throws than we have. What's that about? And then Rod Thorne came out. Rod's normally pretty quiet about all that. He agreed, so we'll see if that becomes a subplot as the night goes along. Here's Robinson inside, and he's fouled.
Well, I'll tell you what that's about.
That's embarrassing sour grapes is what that's about.
Yeah, they're a different team. San Antonio's a low post team, a team that takes it to the hole. They're going to get more fouls. You can't just look at the raw numbers. You have to look at the way the teams play. The Nets aren't going to get to the line a lot, or as many times as San Antonio.
That's beneath both Byron and Rod.
You know how it goes, though. You know how it is. Just plant the seed. Plant the seed.
They didn't complain when they were winning and shooting more free throws.
Of course not.
Well, that's what I meant about bringing it up. We would have been remiss not to mention it because it's been splashed all over the papers in this part of the country. 4-3 Spurs with their first lead.
I like Jason Kidd's response. Said it was ludicrous.
Kenyon Martin going to get a third try. Got it.
Over the top. Too anxious. Richard Jefferson.
So Richard got a tip earlier, but that one interference and take it away.
And Brad, Jason Kidd has been talking to the media about Richard Jefferson all week long to calm down and just let the game come. You're a role player playing off the stars. You're trying to do too much too early.
Jackson, great hook around to David Robinson for the slam.
Great footwork just to get to a point to be able to dump that one off.
I think the rest will really help David Robinson that extra day. His numbers have been declining down the slippery slope.
Of course, he had the best game in the first game after the 5-day rest. Here's Kenyon Martin outside, and he knocks down the jumper.
That's become automatic. Was that a stare over at the San Antonio bench saying, what are you doing leaving me open? I'm going to knock this shot down. Nice step out, Kenyon Martin.
Is that a good thing or bad thing when he's your most consistent shooter from 20 feet?
Duncan now spinning inside, and Kidd with the foul. Almost came up with a steal, and he already had Kittles in his sights going the other way.
This is a tough call.
I'm not sure. He may have got a little. I don't like that.
That's ball.
That is ball.
At least they're not putting Tim Duncan on the line.
So Bowen will inbound. Just a little over 4 minutes into the game.
Whoa.
10 on the shot clock. Jackson with it in hand.
Nice defense.
Look out.
Slicing through. That's about the third time he's used that same move. He finally got himself A foul.
Well, he is teetering on the precipice of scoring and losing the ball out of bounds.
You guys are both doing that precipice teetering.
Oh, he threw the
tonight.
Tchaikovsky at me. I had to do something.
All right.
When the Spurs dribble that much, that's not their game.
I agree.
Get it to the big man. Let him be a passer or a scorer. Let Tony Parker create penetration, dish to three-point spot-up shooters.
Jackson's first point of the night. Log on to the NBA store on NBA.com now and order the official 2003 NBA Finals program. Love it live on NBA.com. Tom Pirelli from the league came over. Programs for everybody after I complained the other night that I didn't have an official program. Now we've all got one. Dikembe Mutombo's already in the lineup. Jackson knocks down both free throws. Spurs by 3 again.
An early sighting for Mutombo. Byron Scott obviously well aware of the seriousness and the urgency of this game.
Well, in games 2 and 3, he played 20 and 18 minutes respectively after only 6 in the opener. Martin inside trying to throw it off the glass.
Thank you. A late whistle.
Fouls on Robinson.
And that's what's got this crowd incensed. The ball movement, the quick hitting execution, no hesitation whatsoever by Kenyon Martin to get down the lane and the hack and a trip to the line where he has become just an outstanding performer.
This is a guy for the Nets, despite the fact he missed that free throw. He has held up his end, this guy.
Oh, yeah. I tell you what, when he jumps, it looks like he's got his own little personal trampoline that he jumps off wherever he goes. And he gets up higher than everybody. It doesn't matter who you are.
The problem that I have with Kenyon Martin, besides the fouls, is that coming into tonight's game, he had to take 58 shots to get the 58 points that he had. You need better efficiency and production out of your star player than that.
What do you mean? That's great efficiency as far as the Nets are concerned.
Jackson too much dribbling again that time, and now Duncan has to go to the floor with Mutombo.
Dikembe on the floor.
So is Kerry Kittles.
You know it's serious now. Dikembe's barking at Duke Callahan.
Well, if Dikembe goes on the floor too much, they're going to have to get a spatula to get him off the floor. That's a couple times for this guy.
Remember, he hit
That's
the deck
not really
in game
getting
1.
on the floor. They pulled him on.
The jump ball controlled by the Spurs. Parker, Kittles knocks it away from behind.
One of the defensive adjustments that Byron Scott has talked about for this game 4 is when they set those high screens for Tony Parker, who just works back and forth off him, that the other guy has to come out and leave the guy who's setting the screen. Kenyon Martin, Dikembe Mutombo, Jason Collins, they have huge responsibilities now to double team Tony Parker.
Jackson to Duncan. Duncan just threw one up there. Robinson trying to keep it alive. Last touched by the Nets out of bounds.
Tim Duncan is looking at the referee, Ed Rush, and saying, what is a foul?
I think Ed Rush said not that. You notice, though, that David Robinson was the only one down there on the offensive glass, and that's by design. They want to get guys back. If they don't get an offensive rebound, that's okay, just as long as they don't give up an easy bucket on the other end.
Tony Parker has to bring it out on top to Duncan.
Richard Jefferson and Bruce Bowen getting overly aggressive away from the ball.
Ooh. Duncan pushes out to Jackson for 3. And Kenyon Martin up there for the rebound.
Now that's a man's rebound right there. In front of the league's MVP.
Kid pull up Jay. Got it.
He is so much better when he lets those fly in transition. So much better.
Tied at 8. The low block, it's Duncan facing Mutombo. And Mutombo blocked the shot. Out to Jefferson. And Bruce Bowen says, who, me? And it's on Tony Parker.
Jason Kidd appears to be moving more fluidly today. Remember, he sprained his ankle in the closing minutes of the Eastern Conference closeout game. But with Duncan trying to go one-on-one, Mutombo is so tall. Come to a stop there if you're Tim Duncan and come back with a little reverse pivot jump shot.
Kidd's going to try for 2 in a row. Robinson off the miss. The outlet to Parker. He's got Bowen in front. Didn't see him in time. Duncan, a little head fake. Maybe half a travel to the score.
Tease him, Tim. Or as Tony Parker calls him, Timmy.
Timmy. It sounds like team with an MY on the end. Kittles for 3.
I don't know how many other people call him that.
I don't either. Probably Tony's the only one that can get away with it. Well, the Spurs have the lead on the road here in Game 4. It took almost 2 days to clean up the empty cups out in the concourse of Continental Airlines Arena after the Devils' Stanley Cup win 2 days ago, and now they hope that they can party because of the Nets, but the party will start to be over if the Nets don't win this Game 4 tonight.
The party will keep going if they bring Fish back to play another concert in here the way they sang the national anthem.
Watch this break now with Tim Duncan filling the middle lane.
Well, just everybody's out there. Kittle's got to step in there and take that charge.
Oh, please.
Get in there. Come on. Sacrifice the body a little bit, would you?
You look like a guy that took a lot of charges.
Hey, at the end of the year, they used to call me Aunt Jemima. My butt was as flat as a pancake. I took so many charges. You kidding me?
Get the air and block it.
My body was built. My body was built for charges.
Be a ball player. Forget the charges.
Tim Duncan backs up to the elbow and missed the 15-footer, and Kenyon Martin's got another rebound.
What I loved about that fast break by Duncan, though, that was a Magic Johnson move, the way he faked the ball on his first step as opposed to waiting too long. Excellent footwork by Duncan.
Martin slips as he tried to face Malik Rose. 8 on the shot clock.
He's got Parker on him. He just got to go to the hoop.
Kid's got to take the long ball. In and out. And Tony Parker the rebound.
Horrendous recognition.
What a crossover by Parker. Jackson gave up a 3, and again he does the whirling dervish inside to Duncan.
Boy, the lug nuts are really loose on Steven Jackson's game right now.
They really are.
He's just kind of, I said, he's on that border of out of control and making great plays.
I think he read that article where Greg Popovich said he's going to give him a long-term contract. This guy is the ultimate vagabond, Steven Jackson.
We'll see if it gives him a long-term leash tonight. It's a 2-point game, 4:22 left in the quarter.
If it does, maybe we can borrow one for Tom as well.
That'd be good.
Make it leather, please.
Parker goes around Mutombo. He slips, but he takes the shot anyway, and it's in and out. Kittles to Kidd. Kidd by everybody. And then trying to leave it for Kittles.
Well, look who's there. The big fella, Tim Duncan.
Tony Parker's got another rebound. That's his second one in the last couple of trips down court.
We are right on pace. The Nets so far in this series, 9 out of 12 quarters, they've been 22 or under. The Spurs, 7 out of 12 quarters, they've been 21 or under.
What we're not on pace for is for the Nets to lead, because they have led at the end of one in every game. Haven't been able to finish.
And Kenyon Martin crossing the lane with a right hand, ends up sprawled in front of the Spurs bench. This time Jackson slows it down.
And Rose got him.
They finally get it to him after an extra pass, and Duncan tips it in.
So frustrating for the big man Mutombo, who's right there, intimidating, denying shots at every turn. And the little guys, the role players, aren't coming in there to pick up those errant shots. Points in the paint, all San Antonio. Duncan, Robinson, Rose.
And Steven Jackson with a foul on Jefferson. With 3:07 remaining in the quarter, Jefferson's going to go to the free throw line. Richard has taken only 8 free throws in the championship round so far. He's hit 7, however.
Well, one of the problems for Richard Jefferson is the expectations that come with a guy with incredible athleticism. But Richard Jefferson averaged 15.6 boards during the regular season. Right now, he's under 10 and shooting 35%. Yikes. Make a shot, please.
3 minutes remaining in the quarter. 14-10 San Antonio. Ginobili's in there for the Spurs, along with Parker, Duncan, Jackson. And it's Duncan off the glass. Tom and I watched him work on that. I bet it was 20 minutes from both sides in warm-ups tonight.
He learned how to do that at Wake Forest with assistant coach Jerry Wainwright. They would spend hours working on that, and every single time.
We welcome you back to Game 4 of the NBA Finals. Continental Airlines Arena, or wherever around the world you might be watching. As our friend Jim McKay would say, spanning the globe. These are the countries in which the NBA Finals are being seen. Some of those are more familiar to you probably than others. Same with us. Not only that, but 205 countries are involved in 36 languages, and that doesn't even count the 2 I have here at the table with Bill Walton and Tom Tolbert. And there's the international media. And of course, not only Manu Ginobili in Argentina, but Tony Parker, who's been a star, and he is from France. And let's get a little taste of the French broadcast of the NBA Finals.
Juste au moment de la reprise du jeu. Donc après cette petite rupture de faisceau sans importance, vite réglé. Jason Kidd. Voilà, 2 points pour Kidd. De toute façon, on le sait, hein, la clé du réveil des Nets, ça ne peut venir que de Jason Kidd.
C'est ça, dans tous les domaines, c'est le moteur de l'équipe, mais sur l'attaque posée, ils ont toujours tendance à hésiter, à ne pas faire d'écran et à regarder jouer Kidd. Ouh là 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 là!
Ouais, pardon, Mutombo qui était venu à la lutte avec Duncan.
Il a contré le dunk de Dream Team.
Et là, il le gêne encore.
Ça va mieux pour Mutombo.
Ah oui, belle défense. Superbe aide de Stephen Jackson qui va pouvoir aller en contre-attaque.
Oh, comme des dunks ratés. Rose, compris 2 fois.
Il y a eu Kittles qui est allé voler ce ballon à Malik.
Rose qui avait dunké sur la tête de Mutombo dans le dernier match.
Pretty sexy. Tony Parker with a miss.
Oh, Tim.
Ooh, la 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 la. I like that. That'll be Bill's new one. Instead of throw it down, it'll be ooh la la.
How many of those countries speak Waltonese do we know?
Just a couple. Here's Rose outside. Kittles snatches down the rebound.
Crowd into it, surging toward the court.
And the lob to Kenyon Martin.
Mutombo on the defensive end, igniting it. 2 big block shots, trying to take it in and dunk on him, and Mutombo says no.
And the Spurs throw it away. And now the Nets have a chance to tie.
Terrible pass, but Mutombo's presence when he's in the game, Tim Duncan's field goal percentage is 20% lower than when Mutombo's on the bench. Over the top and throw it down, Kmart. From below.
From the floor, Kmart landed right on top of you. Harris in there for the Nets. Final 40 seconds. Mutombo had it stripped by Rose, but he fouled it.
Nice penetration and layoff by Lucious Harris. You can only hope that the graph of his productivity turns around, because Lucious Harris, game 1, 15 points. Game 2, 10 points. Game 3, 7 points. Byron Scott cannot live with that. His bench is such a critical part and factor of their attack.
This is the first free throw Dikembe Mutombo has attempted in the finals. And he rips it.
Over there.
That's Tim Walsh,
taking care of business.
Mutombo got a boat. 6-0 run by the Nets, and they tie it up
Out of
16.
Out of that timeout, Byron Scott should can that speech.
Spurs have missed their last 6. Duncan will try to alleviate that problem, and as only he can, he hits double figures to put San Antonio back in front.
When Speedy Claxton has come in the game, they have not really lost anything, as well as Tony Parker has played. Speedy Claxton has matched him in the limited opportunities that he's had.
And now he's on Jason Kidd. Pulled down by Mutombo and blocked from behind.
Back at you.
Chance for the Spurs. Rose on a runner from midcourt, and it almost went.
There are a lot of guys who are great players who have never gotten to this position, who've never had the opportunity to win one. Tim Duncan, forward, San Antonio Spurs. Along with your accolades, anything that you've accomplished, any individual statistics that you put up, it does take you to another level to win championships and to be a part of a championship team.
And of course, Tim Duncan has won one already. The MVP in '99 in the Spurs championship run. And tonight he's got 10 points, The rest of the team with 8. San Antonio only shooting 27%, but Duncan shooting much better than that.
Tim Duncan leads the Spurs in points, rebounds, and assists during this whole playoffs. In NBA playoff history, only 3 other players have led their team in those 3 categories during the entire postseason where they reached the NBA Finals. Larry Bird did it twice, Hakeem Olajuwon once, and Jason Kidd a year ago.
And a foul on Rodney Rogers. Oh, it's on Mutombo.
I think he set the moving screen. Jason Kidd coming off the screen, and he was moving just a little bit. Tried to roll to the bucket.
When is Manu Ginobili going to get going here?
He's got it right now, but he's got a double team on his hip pocket. Behind the back pass to Claxton. Now Bowen. Bowen hasn't gotten off at all in this series as the #1 3-point shooter in the league. Duncan spinning inside. Ran into a bunch of traffic.
Oh, takedown.
They got to
be a foul on Duncan.
Yeah. But
I'll give him 2 points, though.
In TD's defense, as much as he got mugged on the way to the hoop, he said, well, they're probably not calling fouls. So if this is not a foul, as he gets stripped and raked across the arm, how can this be a foul as I grab Lucious Harris?
He almost rolled him over for a reversal right
Would
there.
have been a near fall.
Yeah.
Second foul, and Tim will have to sit. So this is normally the situation Kenyon Martin's been in. 2 fouls early second quarter. Now it's Tim Duncan for the Spurs instead.
This is unquestionably the first time that Tim Duncan has been in foul trouble in this series.
Kidd with Claxton on him. Mutombo battling Robinson inside. Well, there's some elbows flying down there. Kidd from 18 straight away, knocked it down. Jason's got 6.
I was going to say, boy, they could use that, but boy, they could use anything from anybody, from anywhere.
Ginobili lost the handle, but it is a foul. And that one will be on Rogers.
Ginobili admittedly hit the big shot at the end of game 3.
That off-balance 12-footer on the baseline.
But he's shooting the same percentage that Richard Jefferson is shooting, 35% in this series.
But you always look better when you're playing for the winning team.
Exactly. Tried the entry pass. That didn't look too good either.
Right.
And that's why you go to UCLA.
Excuse me? I'm not sure I get that correlation.
To play for the winning team.
I know Manu didn't go to UCLA.
Oh, easy.
Here's Rogers off the glass. Tough shot. Almost knocked it down. Bowen the rebound.
You must have missed the last decade or so.
Duncan back to Rose, who's wide open on the pick and roll, and in and out. Oh, David Robinson swiped it from Mutombo and scored.
You're not used to seeing 7-footers swipe the ball from you. That's usually reserved for the little guy. So when they do that, you're a little bit surprised. Malik Rose 0 for 7 already.
He's pumped up after that throwdown the other night. He said, give me the ball. I'm shooting. I'm hot.
Nice ball movement. Kerry, Kittles for 3. I think Claxton got a hand on it, and Bowen pulls it down.
Jason Kidd is just not moving to the ball the way he normally does.
There's the field goal shooting. Way below even the low normal that we've had. Here's Rose.
They're running isolation plays for a guy who's 0 for 7.
And a nice wraparound pass that bounced right off the 5 and the 0. David
Jump
Robinson.
ball.
And now jump ball. Mutombo's upset.
They got to call a delay of game.
I thought you had to have possession of the ball to get a jump ball. There's a nice pass right here by Malik Rose. Bounces right off the hands.
That's a jump ball. He had it first.
I guess you call the jump ball because you don't want them swinging elbows and guys getting into it. Like they're just
and now
about to
Rogers and Rose are pushing each other.
Malik Rose gets first pick of position. Rodney Rogers has to wait until Malik takes his stand.
And from above, you see the tips controlled by the Spurs again. Ginobili trying to go baseline, and he's pushed.
That's one of the worst feelings that a basketball player can have. When you go to the bucket, get fouled, and then you pass it, you're trying to reach back just so you can throw anything up there to get to the free throw line.
9:25 in the half. Claxton pull-up jumper for Speedy. His first basket of the night.
And every moment that he's out there, it's just more time to rest for Tony Parker. And Tony Parker, at some point, has to get a little bit tired. What defense by Bowen on Richard Jefferson.
Rodgers backing in on Rose. Strong body move by Rodney Rodgers. Spurs by 2. Under 9 minutes in the half. This is game 4 of the NBA Finals. Brad Nessler, Bill Walton, Tom Tolbert, Michelle Tafoya, Stuart Scott, Mike and the gang on the shoot around at halftime. Rose missed again, but it's kept alive by Claxton.
Every minute that the Spurs can at least keep the lead or stay where they were out before Duncan went out is a good minute. Every minute for the Nets when Duncan's out, nice. That you can't catch up, that's a wasted minute.
Timeout. Our aerial shots of Continental Airlines Arena in the surrounding New York metropolitan area provided by the Saturn Lightship. The team at Saturn hopes you're enjoying our unique look from high above northern New Jersey. From inside Continental Airlines Arena, down on one knee in front of the guy that did the great music for us in the pregame. Let's go to Stu Scott. Stu.
Thanks a lot, Brad. LL Cool J rocking the fat beats for our ABC Opens, man. We appreciate the love. That's just one other assignment and many for you, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm just a man on a mission. I got SWAT coming out August 8th. Big up to Colin Farrell, Sam Jackson, Michelle Rodriguez. Got the album 10 out there right now. It's platinum. I'm on tour. I mean, I feel great. It's beautiful.
Now, LL is one of the most cut in shape rappers, singers, musicians out there. You played a football player in any given Sunday.
Yeah.
You told me before, you said that hurts. Could you get out here and do anything?
I don't know about getting out here and embarrassing myself, but, if need be, I would love to take a shot and dunk on Tim Duncan. That would be a beautiful thing,
Can I tell Tim you said that?
Absolutely.
Is there a wager on this?
Nah.
Would you need a trampoline?
Yes. Yes, I absolutely would. But, I'm enjoying the series. I'm a New York boy, but I got to go with Jersey on this one. You know what I mean? I really want to see New Jersey win. I'm rooting for Jason Kidd and his whole family, and I just hope it's a great series, and I hope everybody at home is enjoying it.
All right, we appreciate it. A lot of love from the Grammy winner, LL Cool J, who has better abs, Brad, than Tim Duncan.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
All right, guys. Whistle and a foul inside. Going to be on Bruce Bowen. That's his first. So Tim Duncan sitting with 2 fouls. 8:13 left in the half. His team, though, still in front by 4. Ginobili comes out.
Would you take a charge on LL Cool J?
You kidding me? You could grate cheese on LL Cool J's stomach. That's how cut he is. It's sickening, really. I know I have that somewhere in there. I don't know if we'll ever see it, but I know it's down there.
Jefferson off the mark. Rebound is Rose.
And the zone defense for San Antonio continues to cause all kinds of problems for Byron Scott. Nice pass.
Bowen for 3. Got it down. Bruce Bowen. It's been a long time since he's even had a field goal. In fact, he's gone 70 minutes of game time until knocking down that 3. A big one it is, though. It gives San Antonio its biggest advantage of the night, 27-20.
Well, it's a tough zone to crack.
Aaron Williams with a left hand.
But Bruce Bowen is so active, and he has to cover so much ground, but he's the guy to do it. But a nice entry pass and a nice shot by Aaron Williams.
But Bowen is the finisher. And right now, it's the creativity that's coming from Speedy Claxton here. Unfortunately for New Jersey, they have no ability to create against the zone defense.
Speedy goes around everybody, and he'll take the shot himself. This time, the rebound will be the Nets. It's Jefferson.
Get running.
Kidd's too far in front of everybody else. Leaves it for Williams, though, and he's fouled.
Byron Scott told us before the game that Aaron Williams would play immediately on the arrival of San Antonio's zone. He is the best at the high post. He's the best finisher in a freelance broken play type situation.
Kenny Martin back in, Tim Duncan back in. Aaron Williams at the free throw line in typical Aaron Williams fashion. Didn't play in game 2 and didn't say one word about it. He said, Byron Scott's the coach. He'll tell me when I'm going to play. Byron Scott, in return, has said Aaron Williams plays the same way, whether he plays 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. He goes full blast when he gets out there, and he's out there now and got 1 out of 2 from the free throw line.
You don't cry and complain this type of year. This time of year, you just, no, he said it right. I thought Aaron Williams said it best. Look, I'm not going to second guess coach. We're trying to win a championship. If I'm not out there, I'm going to root for my teammates. When I do go out there, I'm going to bust my butt, whether it's 5 minutes or 20 minutes.
Tony Parker saved that on the baseline. 2 on the shot clock. Tony running out of time. And Kidd, look at this outlet pass.
Got him.
Deep for Martin.
Pass interference.
It is. Throw the flag.
Not quite sure what Tony Parker did wrong there, other than have the road jersey on.
So that's 2 on Tony Parker. Watch this pass.
Over the top.
They pushed him, is what he did. Pushed him in the chest.
That might have something to do with it.
Also, if you're a little guy, you can push?
Absolutely. Nice pass, Anthony Johnson.
Williams in a little deeper. Duncan, knowing he had 2 fouls, just put his hand straight in the air. Didn't pick up a third. The shot didn't go.
Duncan in game 1 played 44 minutes, had 1 foul.
And Robinson with a hook, and he's hip checked by Williams. Chance for a 3-point play.
I haven't seen that hook in 5 years. All I've seen is jump shots, layups. Look at this.
You don't have league pass?
I haven't seen that. I must have missed that one. Must have jumped over to something else.
Well, talking about one of the 50 greatest players of all time, Tom.
Yeah.
Please, show some respect.
I am
for this legend, for this first ballot Hall of Famer, for this former MVP.
There's the foul trouble so far for the Spurs. Duncan and Robinson each 2, and Parker has 2. They need all those guys. Kidd got his man in the air. It's Anthony Johnson wide open, and he hit a 3.
Rarely have we seen this guard combination, but with Kerry, Kittles, and Lucious Harris stinking it up for Byron Scott, Anthony Johnson has earned this opportunity, and he has played well for a long time.
Almost came up with a steal on Parker, did Johnson, and now Tony still hasn't found the handle.
Put a leash on it.
Jackson, he'll try a 3. Duncan tipped it to himself. To Jackson again on the cutter, and Williams blocked it.
Look at Duncan directing the defense, coming back and says, I got Kidd. You guys get the wing player.
They got Williams.
Underneath, broken up by Robinson.
That's David Robinson, number 50.
And now blocking foul on Jason Kidd. He doesn't like the call. And a technical.
Don't get thrown out, Jason, please.
Sold out Continental Airlines Arena again tonight. Penny Marshall, she's got the whole uniform on there. Bruce Willis, who was with us the other night. Whoa. He's changed caps.
Look at that. I got to get one of those.
Yeah, you do need one of those. Bill Bradley, Willis Reed, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Bill Russell. And Willis Reed was getting a huge ovation. He is still the senior vice president here in the New Jersey Nets. Let's check in with Michelle Tafoya.
Well, during that last timeout, Greg Popovich had to look at Steven Jackson in particular and say, hey, when you don't get a call or you get a call you don't like, you've just got to stay calm. You guys are doing a great job of keeping your composure, but nobody in the Western world cares about how you feel about the fouls. So keep it calm, keep it together. And right now he's got David Robinson on the bench so that Robinson can get some rest and come back before the half is over, guys.
That is great advice. Nobody cares except your own emotions, but if you let them get carried away, you put your team in a precarious position.
What did Isaiah Thomas say in a great pregame appearance tonight with Mike Tirico up there? Leadership by example. Come out, create an atmosphere, a zone that your teammates will feed off your brilliant performance. Right now, Jason Kidd is not getting that done performance-wise, and he's letting his squad down as he's letting the emotions get the best of him.
He has 6 points and has the ball in hand. His team down by 4. 5 minutes left, second quarter. Game 4 of the NBA Finals. Kittles, the left hand.
Tim Duncan as a defender, inspired by Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Willis Reed out there tonight.
See the Parker 1 for 6, not shooting particularly well, but doing a nice job defensively on Jason Kidd.
Jefferson trying to lay it in and does.
And you know something, I think with Duncan back there and Robinson, who's not on the court at the time, sometimes you need to drive in there and pull up for that little 5-foot jump shot, a little 4-foot runner. Try to take it all the way to the rim. It just makes it a more difficult shot.
You are not going to throw it down on those two guys, Duncan and Robinson. I don't care who you are.
Duncan pushed out by Kenyon Martin.
What a pass.
Jackson, and he stepped out of bounds in front of the Nets bench.
A chance here for New Jersey. They're right there. If they ever took the lead, these fans would be so ecstatic.
They have an opportunity to tie it or take the lead this trip. Kittles, who had 21 points the other night, scoreless so far. Underneath, Williams on the pass from Kidd. Tie game and a chance to lead.
It just got caught. You see right there, Duncan couldn't get back to Aaron Williams quick enough. Nice pump fake. Gets Rose up in the air, draws the body, knows he's getting to the free throw line, does a good job finishing.
And he does finish things off. 6 points all this quarter. And the quiet one, Aaron Williams, has given his team the lead back.
Can New Jersey play any defense? Take the game away from Tim Duncan and Tony Parker.
Kenyon Martin did there, knocked it away from Duncan.
Popovich puts his arms up in the air and says, what is a foul?
Well, the Nets don't really, the Nets are playing pretty good defense. They've held it at 30 points with 4 minutes left to go in the second. They just got to be able to get some offense going.
Duncan off the inbound, off the glass, automatic.
When was the last time you saw that play run for a center? Maybe for Bob McAdoo or a Dave Cowens.
So he's hit off the glass from both sides, and that one gives his team the lead back. Jefferson taking it in against Duncan, got the basket, and he got the foul. Three on Tim Duncan, courtesy of Richard Jefferson, going to the rack.
And once again, a nice move, jumping into Tim Duncan. Sometimes when you're down there, you just want to draw the foul and then worry about finishing after you draw contact.
It's nice to see the guys using the backboard out there. It was in 1947 that they painted that white square up on the backboard. And it wasn't until 10 years later when Sam Jones started playing that they all started using that rectangle to line it up. And every Spur is in foul trouble right now.
All the big guys and Parker.
Spurs ball.
So a 2-point lead for New Jersey, 34-32. Ginobili trying to get himself enough room to be the trigger man. Parker's been quiet tonight offensively. In and out there. Martin has it poked away by Jackson, but it's out to the Nets.
Coming off games of 21 and 26, Tony Parker. This is a guy who, when you're really young, you think, well, the last game was great, so every game is going to be great.
3 minutes remaining in the half. Kenyon Martin. Rose with the foul troubles, and this one's on Martin.
Great defense by Malik Rose, just standing in there, patiently waiting.
34-32 here inside the Continental Airlines Arena. The home team by 2. Lights are on in Giant Stadium because the Metro Stars are playing an MLS soccer game. And the lights are on in the building for the Verizon Wireless halftime report, joined by Indiana Pacers coach Isaiah Thomas. What do you see here with Tim Duncan being on the bench with 3 fouls?
Well, these next 3 minutes are really crucial to the game. And look for Jason Kidd and the Nets to be very aggressive, taking the ball to the basket, trying to get into the bonus. And a 2-point lead can quickly stretch to 10 here in the next 2 to 3 minutes.
All right, KC and the Sunshine Band, Jimmy Kimmel, Zeke, who had 25 points in a quarter in the finals. Boy, we'd love to have him out there now. And Sean Elliott, see you at the half, guys.
Give him a uniform, would you? Because with Tim Duncan in foul trouble and on the bench, he needs help from the rest of his troops, and they are not giving it to him right now because Tony Parker and Malik Rose and Steven Jackson, that is 1 for 21. Woo. Parker hit the first basket of the ball game, hasn't scored since. Jackson has been averaging 7.5 shots a game. He's taken 8 already tonight. Here's Kittles on the break.
We might have to call Isaiah the prophet.
People don't realize you got to be a pretty good ball player to be able to go 0 for 8. Because usually they'll yank you out before you get there.
Well, he's 0 for 9. Scramble for the loose ball. It's going to be San Antonio ball.
The quick hands of Kerry Kittles, slashing down before there was even possession, and the ability to turn on the afterburners and throw it down. No one is catching Kerry Kittles.
I would say that's half quick hands and half careless offense. You got to be able to tighten that pick up.
Isaiah said the next 3 minutes is going to be vital with Duncan on the bench, and already Kittles has scored. Parker will try a 3. That's off the mark. Jefferson way up for the rebound. Kidd ahead to Williams. And a foul. It's on David Robinson, and he has 3. Foul trouble now for Greg Popovich. Spurs big time with the 2 big guys.
Those are the type of fast breaks if you're San Antonio you can't give up.
Oh.
And a nice look ahead by Jason Kidd.
Where's the foul?
I'm not sure there was one. But there is one because Aaron Williams at the line.
And Aaron, all 6 of his points this quarter. Now he's got 7.
I'm an adherent to the new religious movement about I love the refs, but what Byron Scott and Rod Thorne did is going to become commonplace if this trend continues, where you come out and trash the referees and then your team goes to the free throw line every single time.
Jackson still can't find it. He's looking for a foul. Kittles is looking for a basket the other way. And out of bounds to New Jersey. Good hustle by Aaron Williams. He gets a pat on the rope from Jefferson and Kidd.
Aaron Williams, Richard Jefferson, and Kerry Kittles are just outrunning the Spurs right now.
Spurs led by as many as 7. It's been an 18-5 run by the Nets since.
Look out.
Kenyon Martin tips it to himself. Jason Kidd running the show.
Nice.
The dish to Martin. Got it. Kenyon Martin's got 10. The lead is 8.
Says timeout. We're losing control.
The biggest lead of the night by either team. The Nets are up 40-32. Here's a look at the last bucket by Kenyon Martin.
Well, it's easier to take it in there when you know Tim Duncan sitting on the bench
and David Robinson.
And smart basketball. Smart basketball is what it is when the shot blockers are out. Take it to the rim. And let's not forget, it wasn't that long ago that New Jersey was down 7 in this game. They're down 27-20 and have put on a nice run. Let's see.
20-5.
20-5. I knew I'd get there.
You'd have been paying attention. You'd have heard that a minute ago.
Do you think that Isaiah might think about coaching in this league? Bench scoring, all New Jersey.
6 straight points since Tim Duncan went out with his 3rd foul for the Nets. Ginobili. Parker gave up a 3. Kittles almost stole it again. Jackson trying to feed no one. Oh, they're going to say it was touched by the Nets. Out of bounds to the Spurs with 3 on the shot clock.
Where is the offense going to come from this group? Ginobili, Parker.
Oh, nice.
Ginobili, I guess.
That can't happen. You can't let him score a layup on an inbound pass with 3 seconds left. Unacceptable.
So a 6-point net lead, and we're down to 1 minute remaining in the half.
Good double team by Willis.
How about Aaron Williams? The follow by Kenyon Martin.
Oh, and Willis comes over and double teams. You just throw the shot up and let Kenyon Martin, the rest of the guys, jump up and get it. Nobody can match him athletically.
50 seconds left in the half. Tony Parker. Tough inside. Willis keeps it alive. Aaron Williams blocked Willis' shot. Kidd on the run.
You get a 2 for 1 if you want it.
Jefferson on the baseline. Got it off the glass for Richard Jefferson.
They have found their game. The question is, will they be able to sustain it once the big boys come back?
And now Rose has 3 fouls. So all the big boys have 3. Robinson, Duncan, and Rose. Here's Jefferson's move on the baseline.
Timmy looks very concerned.
The Nets looking to tie things up, and they've got a 10-point lead.
Kenyon Martin goes to the bench to save fouls for the second half.
There's the Spurs foul problems, and there's a lot of them. The 3 big guys, Duncan, Robinson, and Rose, all with 3. Jefferson trying to finish off a 3-point play. Does. Much better night for Jefferson. We called on him in the open. Tom talked about it. He's responded with 10 first-half points.
Maybe you should have done it before game 1.
I tell you what, if I'm the Spurs, I'm saying a lot of those calls they're getting seem suspiciously like the ones we're not getting.
Jackson waits for the defense to fly by and then brick to three. Jason Kidd ahead to Jefferson. He's been the man. Almost got another one. Jackson the rebound, but a double-digit lead for New Jersey at home.
Isn't that exactly what Isaiah said was going to happen?
He said 10, it was 11.
Let's check it with Stuart Scott.
Richard, for a guy who struggled so much the first 3 games and whose struggles were talked about so publicly, how satisfying is it for you to have that first half you had?
It's good. You know, I'm not done yet. I still have another half to play. Our team has another half to play, but you know, I told everybody I'm not a finished product. I'm a second-year player that's learning and continuing to grow.
How much does a technical foul like the one Jason Kidd got, how much does that help a team?
Well, it helps us a lot because it lets us know that our leader's not going to stand for, you know, maybe an iffy call. The referees are doing a great job all series. You know, it lets us know that he's fired up.
What are you going to do when Tim Duncan comes back in? You had this run with them out.
We have to continue to go at him. That's how we got the run, because we went at him and we were aggressive. But you have to understand you can't get too aggressive because that's going to hurt your team.
All right, RJ. Good luck in the second half.
The gang running free flights. Got the joystick going there. And we come back down to the floor. Brad Nessler, Bill Walton, Tom Tolbert with you. 45-34 New Jersey, the halftime leader. And before the game time, you said Richard Jefferson had to play well. Like Bill said, you should have told him before the first game. He did play well.
He's done everything they could ask in this first half. We focused on the points, and not only is he giving them points, 10 points, driving to the hole, getting stuff done, but 8 big rebounds from Jefferson. And then, of course, Kenyon Martin, it almost goes without saying now that he's going to have that type of game because he's been having those type of games throughout the series, but they're going to need those 2 guys to keep it up in the second half.
The San Antonio Spurs, they can't stand prosperity. They come out, they got the 2-1 lead, and they come out and stink it up, shooting 26%. The matchup between Tony Parker and Jason Kidd out in front is one-sided again, this time in favor of Jason Kidd.
Jason's always come back with a good game after a bad one. Let's check in with Michelle Tafoya.
Popovich told his team, keep shooting it. That's going to happen. But what he said was uncharacteristic was with Tim out of the game, Duncan, their intensity and transition defense got bad. He said that's not characteristic of our club. Of the fouls, he said, I'm not worried about my guys. They're class acts. They know refs don't win and lose games, Brad.
As Isaiah Thomas said, with about 2 minutes and a half to go, said that with Duncan out, it would be the time for the Nets to shine, and they did, and they made up ground and got this 11-point lead.
Can Jason Collins make a contribution here? How's that not a foul?
Jefferson finishes again.
Throw it down, RJ. One time, please. Throw it down.
47-34, the lead swells to 13. And who's going to have an answer for San Antonio?
Greg Popovich, obviously.
Well, that cannot be their offensive scheme.
Bowen blocked the second time by Collins. David Robinson off the glass.
Great effort by Robinson, but Popovich not happy with somebody out there. Manu Ginobili has been sitting at the bench for about 20 seconds. I believe it was Steven Jackson that let Richard Jefferson go, but you see the run right there. 13-4 since Duncan's 3rd foul. That's what you got to do. When the superstar goes out, you take advantage.
That dates back to 3:32 remaining in the half. Let's check in with Stuart Scott. Stu.
Brad, at halftime, Byron Scott told his team, continue to attack. They are not satisfied with what they have. Yes, Tim Duncan's in foul trouble, but their goal is not to get him out of the game. Their goal is to attack the offensive and defensive glass. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, they want to keep playing. He does want them, though, to work on their offensive rebounds. That, he says, is not getting it done. Brad?
Well, they put it in an attack mode there and went for the alley-oop. It didn't pay off, and now the Spurs come down the other way.
How about the dribbling exhibition in half court by Tim Duncan? Reminiscent of Isaiah Thomas.
And now Duncan loses the dribble and the turnover. 7 turnovers on San Antonio. Each had 6 in the first half. Here's Kidd on the baseline.
How about the fact that Popovich pulled Ginobili back to the bench? He had him up there ready to check him in.
He yo-yoed him. That's what you call a yo-yo. I've had that happen before. Tom, no, we don't want you in there.
I would think that would happen a lot.
Please stop.
Bowen will try a 3. And Jason Kidd out of the pile. Coming down with Kittles. Kittles with a left hand. Biggest lead of the series for New Jersey.
I grew up watching Magic Johnson, who made every single player around him better. Jason Kidd is the exact same thing as him. Richard Jefferson, small forward, New Jersey Nets.
And he's helping his teammates finish, like on this last transition basket. Kerry, Kittles on the break. That is what's given the Nets a 15-point lead, their biggest of the finals.
How will San Antonio respond out of the timeout and the obvious tongue lashing that Greg Popovich came with, because the Spurs seem to have left their game at the hotel.
Well, their transition defense has gotten worse as the game's gone on. The first 21 minutes, 4 fast break points. The last 5.5 minutes, 6 fast break points.
Bowen had a 3, rattle in and out. Martin clears it off to Kidd.
Well, this is New Jersey basketball here.
Kittles for 3. Yee. And now Tony Parker runs it up. Jackson will try 3 of his own and got it.
Well, that's a good way of getting easy points. I mean, the 3 to me is always best taken off the transition or off the draw and kick. When you see the field goal percentage there, that's the one constant between the Game 2 win with New Jersey and this one, is that they're playing good defense. Last time they forced a lot of turnovers. This game, just holding them to a low shooting percentage.
San Antonio, the best road team in the NBA by the numbers this year.
In fact, they've had a winning record on the road the last 6 seasons, and nobody else can make that claim.
Well, San Antonio, a better road team in the playoffs than home team. 7-4 at home, 7-3 on the road.
They had won 5 straight road playoff games coming into this one tonight. Right now they're in a hole and they're traveling with it. Tony Parker, that's the 8th Spurs turnover.
Not a good sign when you're making mistakes and looking over at your coach to bail you out. Get it back on the defensive end and get to work if you're the Spurs.
I have a feeling you never looked at a coach or an official in your whole career.
I was instructed never to look at the coach once the game started.
Well, if I was your coach, I wouldn't want you looking at me either.
Martin lost the handle. Now he'll take the jumper. Robinson with a rebound. David Robinson's had a pretty good ball game. Again, with the extra rest, he seems always fresher.
But are they going to waste that in tonight's game?
Good point. Parker.
Good pass.
Bowen bumped by Kenyon Martin. And Kenyon Martin now finds himself with 3 as we check in with Michelle Tafoya.
Well, no clipboard necessary for Greg Popovich in the last time out. He wanted his team to come out smarter to start this second half. He told his guys, Brad, you're playing like you're feeling sorry for yourselves. If the starters don't want to play, he'll put in somebody else for them. Brad?
All right, it's 7:35 remaining in the third quarter. 11 seconds on the shot clock. So Kenyon Martin with 3 fouls. Duncan and Robinson each with 3. And now Jason Collins has picked up his 3rd.
You know, interestingly enough, too, to go back to the point, San Antonio's played better on the road. In the 21 games San Antonio's played in the playoffs, the road team is 11-10. A better record in road games when San Antonio's playing.
Oh. Duncan goes down, no basket.
Popovich is going to.
He's got to get picked off by his assistants, or he'll find himself coaching from the locker room.
He's trying to get tossed out of here.
The foul was on Robinson, the technical on Popovich, and Jason Kidd walks it down to the free throw line.
It was Jason Kidd's technical and the combination of the foul trouble for Duncan and Robinson that opened the game up late in the first half. Popovich trying to get his team ignited here.
Here's the play that led to the outburst by Popovich as Duncan missed the shot, and then Robinson was called for the foul on Collins trying to go for the rebound. And there's the reaction of the coach of the year.
But you got to protect your players. I mean, he's going out there to protect his player. I'm not so sure if that's a foul. If anything, Kenyon Martin may have caught him with the body, but we'll see if that ignites the Spurs.
Greg Popovich trying to become the 5th. Oh, what a backdoor cut.
Now pass by Kenyon Martin that was picture perfect, but it doesn't end up being points, but rather a turnover.
You got numbers. Had numbers.
Duncan, Collins on him. Martin comes over to help out. Claxton in traffic. Speedy up off the glass.
Like Mercury. How do you control them? Got to put a bottle around it.
11-point lead for New Jersey. Jefferson, the outside jumper. Comes right to Kenyon Martin. And now Duncan with those 3 fouls. Martin has 3 as well. They just stare each other down.
Got to take him. Got to take him.
No foul call. Duncan the rebound. Gets it out to Claxton.
But when your superstar has 4, they're not even going to give you anything. You're going to have to get that 4th foul. It's almost like drawing a penalty in the overtime of a Stanley Cup game. You almost have to hatchet somebody to get that call.
Jason Collins having a solid impact here in the 3rd quarter.
They go to Speedy Claxton underneath. Why not? And he's fouled. That's on Collins, and that's 4 on Collins. And that's going to bring Aaron Williams off the bench in a hurry.
3 completely different centers that Byron Scott has at his disposal.
Mutombo, a defender and shot blocker. Williams, who's been an offensive force tonight, and now Collins with more foul trouble. 3 for 34 is what those numbers add up to.
And they're within 11.
Speedy Claxton, 5 points in the ball game.
Well, who's playing well for San Antonio? That's what you look for. You hope for a comeback.
2 big guys.
Duncan, Robinson, and Speedy Claxton.
Yeah.
And you would never have thought the 3rd guy you mentioned was going to be in that group. At least not playing this much as he has tonight. Speedy Claxton.
Well, Parker stunk it up.
Timeout Nets.
Nets are going to take a timeout. This bird's eye view is courtesy of Saturn and the Saturn Light Ship. Keep your eye on the sky when the Saturn Light Ship visits a major sporting event near you. In this case, it's visiting Game 4 of the NBA Finals from Continental Airlines Arena in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Our Miller Lite storyline in this one tonight. San Antonio is shot terribly, and the foul trouble continues for the 2 big guys, Robinson and Duncan. Jefferson and Martin both with 12 points. 15 points off the New Jersey bench, which has certainly helped their cause as well, led by Aaron Williams, who had 8 in the 2nd quarter. Bruce Willis with the Kidd family in a good seat up front. And LL Cool J, who Stu talked with in the first half. Big part of our music in the shoot-around show tonight. So after that 15-point lead, a 7-1 run by the Spurs to cut it down to single digits. And now Kenyon Martin puts it right back to double digits.
The posting up of Jason Kidd, something that coming into this series, the thought was going to be this would be the determining factor for New Jersey's dreams to come true. With the double team, with the collapsing help on Jason Kidd, everybody else should be wide open. Kenyon Martin
doesn't get the 3-point play, but his field goal did break a field goal drought for the Nets of almost 4 minutes. Claxton will try the outside jumper, and Kevin Willis is there to clean up.
Assist?
Beautiful pass right off the bottom of the rim.
You're getting this down when you look at him, aren't you? Yeah.
By now, are you kidding?
Yeah. There's been more terrible shots become assists this year than I've ever seen before. Here's Williams, who played so well offensively in the 2nd quarter.
Mackerel.
Richard Jefferson! Get out of the way!
That is a throwdown. People stunned.
That's just no respect for one of the elder statesmen in the league.
That was phenomenal.
Bowen blocks by Jefferson.
He's everywhere.
4 on the shot clock. Willis has to take it off the baseline. And now whistle and a foul. This one speaks for itself.
That's foul number 24, Richard Jefferson, his first team's
You just knew. You knew when you.
We're not.
Get out of the way.
And we're not talking about a step. We're talking about Kevin Willis, who is 7 feet tall and is buffed. Richard Jefferson, 14 points tonight, 50% shooting.
He's answered the call. Willis hits both free throws. 56-47. 4:43 remaining third quarter.
You know, it's amazing. Through all the dunks and all the they're only down 9 points. Feels like they should be about 15 right now.
Jason Kidd has to chase down that pass from Martin and now penetrates.
What a pass, Jason to himself.
He doesn't get a third try. Duncan with a rebound. Duncan's got a touch at this trip, doesn't he?
You would think.
Been waiting for that for about 2 minutes. Tim Duncan stuck on 12 points and only 1 basket since the first quarter.
This is when the MVP goes to work. Get everybody in foul trouble.
Ginobili knocks down a 3.
He thought you meant MVP of Argentina.
Or the Italian League. Yeah,
exactly. Won 2 of them over there overseas.
The pride of Bahia Blanca.
They'll be on the front of Olay tomorrow. The Sports Daily. Kidd, that one Claxton got a hand on, but Kidd tracks it down again.
Twice in a row.
Williams had Kittles going one way, the pass going the other.
A lot of time on the shot clock. Bring it out and reset. You're totally disorganized, New Jersey.
Martin over Duncan. Duncan the rebound. Martin wanted a foul call.
He's got to calm down here. They're winning this game. They need him.
Kevin Willis hip check Speedy Claxton.
Kevin Willis in the lane. The old man will be 41 in September, has 6 points in the quarter. 56-52. And the Spurs, after the Nets dominated the first half of the bench scoring, have totally dominated in this quarter.
20-second timeout.
16-5 run right now for the Spurs, and the Nets lead's cut down to 4.
San Antonio so versatile, so complete. You got 4 big guys. You can bring in Malik Rose and Kevin Willis.
Kevin Willis with 6 points. Aerial coverage tonight being provided by the Saturn Lightship. The whole Saturn Lightship team hopes you're enjoying the NBA Championship Finals. And it's nice to have them along with us, giving us those great shots of Continental Airlines Arena, where Kevin Willis, who has waited longer than pretty much anybody in the history of the NBA, the oldest guy ever to make an NBA Finals debut. And tonight he's come off the bench. 3rd oldest guy ever to be in the finals, and he has 6 points in this quarter, and he's brought his team back into the game. And there's the oldest to play in the finals. And Kevin Willis will be 41 on September 6th. 3rd oldest guy ever. Kareem, who's here tonight, is the oldest.
Surprised Robert Parrish is not on that list.
Ginobili with a steal.
Whoa.
And all of a sudden there's a hush over this crowd. Claxton inside. Whoa! Kenyon Martin swatted it out of there. But Duncan tracked it down. And it's still Spurs ball with 10 on the shot clock.
This series has teetered back and forth with the point guards. Jason Kidd, Tony Parker, game to game.
You can see the run right there, 16-5 in the last half a quarter. 6 minutes, and it's been the bench. It's been Speedy Claxton, energy, Ginobili, 3, Willis, turnaround jump shot, getting to the free throw line. Their bench right now has been the key.
That block by Kenyon Martin, guys, the 13th of the game, tying a finals record. And Tim Duncan, Mr. Dependable, over Williams and off the glass again.
Yikes. You got to be strong just to get it through Aaron Williams, but to get it through and kiss it off the glass.
So 14 for Duncan. This is his first trip to the free throw line, which has been his really only struggle so far through the playoffs.
I'm surprised that more players don't use the glass. And it has been proven in the world of physics that by using the glass, it improves your chances.
Spoken like a true Bruin.
The head of the physics department at Princeton, Daniel Marlowe, has done a study on this.
Here's Harris. And it's Duncan with his 14th rebound, and the Spurs almost unbelievably have a chance to lead. They were down by 15 what seems like just minutes ago. Kick ball by Jefferson.
Well, that's the one thing we know that's a constant in this series. Even if you get up 8 to 10, which may seem like a big lead, each of these teams are very capable of going on a 4 or 5 minute scoring drought and letting the other team get back into it.
Ginobili for the lead. Didn't get it. And whose ball out of bounds? Still San Antonio.
New Jersey, if they want to hold on and make this a series, they have got to deny guard penetration. That will allow them to control their defensive backboards.
Duncan, Williams trying to stay with him, is going to get a little help. Ginobili weaving through traffic, trying to leave it for Willis, and they lose it out of bounds.
You get so close in there, the temptation to just move ever so closer to the basket. You have to be patient and wait outside the lane so you have room to finish.
2 minutes left in the third quarter.
Offensive foul on the screen.
Kenyon Martin, and he has 4 now. The world champion Devils and the Stanley Cup that they won here 48 hours ago. And the Nets would like to add a championship and make this an arena of champions, which is what the banner says outside Continental Airlines Arena. But they have let a 15-point lead go by the boards. And now the foul trouble with Collins and Kenyon Martin, each with 4. So the foul trouble that the Spurs were looking at in the second quarter, that has sort of subsided. And now the Nets have problems of their own. Duncan from long range. That's not his game. Willis tried to save it. Couldn't quite do it.
I think psychologically this next minute 40 is very important for New Jersey. I mean, it wouldn't seem to be a big deal whether you're up 1 or down 1. It's only a difference of 2 points. But if you're down going into the fourth quarter, I think your psyche takes a dent.
You got Martin in foul trouble. Nobody's really playing well. Richard Jefferson trying to keep it going here, but taking very difficult shots.
Duncan got away with Paul.
Oh, look out.
Willis on the baseline. In and out.
Almost a little too cute there.
He is so complete, Duncan. So methodical.
And now Bowen, with an excellent job of defense, forces a turnover. Under a minute, third quarter. 56-55. New Jersey leading at home, but it's a precarious lead at best. Last time the Spurs led was 32-31. 5 on the shot clock for Duncan.
That's good D. Good D by Aaron Williams that time.
And a collision between Bowen and Jefferson, and the foul's going to be on Bruce Bowen. Bruce getting back in transition defense, and he and Jefferson collide. That's his second.
2 for 1 time for New Jersey. Go right away.
They've missed a dozen of their last 14 after we were kind of bragging up their field goal percentage there for a while. And now Danny Ferry's going to check in for San Antonio. Danny likewise making his first appearance in the finals after a 13-year career. And Duncan will get a breather here and not pick up another foul in the remaining 40 seconds.
2 for 1 opportunity again.
Kidd leaves it for Williams. Back to Kidd. And now it's Bowen's rebound. About a 3-second difference on the shot clock and the game clock. Speedy Claxton will slow it down.
What a heady player. You bring in somebody this good, Speedy Claxton, to run the show when Parker is not getting it done. You've got a real advantage.
Speedy, a #1 draft choice of the 76ers a couple of years ago. Inside, and speaking of Mr. Claxton, he's given the Spurs the lead back. Now Ginobili. Airballed after a steal. Kidd's got a shot, a long one.
What a collapse by New Jersey. Wow.
This was the scene Monday night in Continental Airlines Arena as the New Jersey Devils won yet another Stanley Cup. That was on ABC Sports about 48 hours ago. This was the scene about 4 minutes ago as Lord Stanley's Cup, and you can bet there's been some champagne and a couple of beers in that maybe in the last 48 hours. The team came out, brought the cup out on the floor, and the standing ovation hasn't stopped since. So the Devils add another banner and another Stanley Cup title.
Perfect timing by the operations crew.
You got that right.
Let's get this crowd fired up. This is the season for the New Jersey Nets right here. 12 minutes.
One half of that is a champion already. The Nets on the left side are the other part of the equation. They've let a 15-point lead slip away with only 11 points in the third quarter. They trail by one, 57-56. Here we go. Fourth quarter. They've got to have this one. They've got to send it back to Texas, or the lights might be out on the Nets for the year. Claxton, who's played very well in this game, in Tony Parker's place, bumped and fouled on the baseline. The Nets in the third quarter went 5 of 21. We told you at one point they had missed 12 of their last 14 shots. 5 turnovers. Jason Kidd was an 0-for.
Well, following up a 29-point quarter with an 11-point quarter is like validating a birdie with a triple bogey.
Yeah.
The job that Speedy Claxton has done taking over for Tony Parker here, playing as the guy behind the star. Anthony Johnson has to do it behind Jason Kidd. So very difficult. You get such limited opportunity.
And remember, Tony Parker's rested. Jason Kidd's been out there the whole time. Ginobili takes a long shot. He was looking for a foul on Harris and didn't get it.
Why doesn't Tim Duncan touch the ball early in the possession?
That is a great question.
My silence speaks volumes.
Mine too.
He's the easiest guy in the league to get the ball to. He can catch it.
Ginobili trying to strip it from Harris and going to the deck.
That's great hustle.
But you got Ginobili diving while Lucious Harris is bending over. And now the shot clock is at 5, totally against New Jersey. And
look at
Lucious is slow to get the ball.
Love the floor burn.
5 on the shot clock. Jason Kidd, you know, is going to touch it right back to Harris, the inbound man. He'll take the jumper outside. And the rebound is Speedy Claxton.
He's everywhere. Littlest guy in the court is just torching people.
And now he goes in against the big guys and was fouled.
How about the fact that the Spurs are shooting below 30% and still leading?
And they're leading.
That can't make you feel good if you're the Nets.
They're the best defensive team in basketball.
Well, you know what? They've turned the tables on New Jersey. They've managed to get up more shot attempts in this game, a +10 in that category.
Speedy Claxton looking for his 9th point, and he has got it. Tune in to NBA TV following each finals game for complete live post-game coverage, including the press conferences, interviews, analysis, and more. Place to turn for around-the-clock coverage of the finals is NBA TV. Claxton looking for double figures. What a game that Speedy Claxton has had tonight off the Spurs bench. Maybe his best game of the year.
Here's a guy whose career appeared in jeopardy. Starting out for Philadelphia, tears up his ACL right away. Now he's back dominating the critical game in the finals.
Long drought for the Nets. It continues. Williams missed the stick back.
Tim Duncan and David Robinson are saying, you guys have got to box out. There's a perimeter jumper out there. You cannot allow Lucious Harris, Rodney Rogers, Kenyon Martin be flying to the offensive glass. We got our work cut out for us here.
So David Robinson picks up his 5th foul, and he'll have to sit. Kevin Willis, who has done a nice job taking over for the Admiral, comes back in. 10:45 remaining. This is game 4, a vital one for the Nets, especially. They trail 2-1 in the best of 7, and they trail by 3 on the scoreboard. Steal by Bowen. Bowen going coast to coast.
Bowen, who's been so quiet offensively. People scratching their heads and say, Popovich, why don't you come with a Steve Kerr or somebody who can fill up some,
look at that,
jumpers out there.
25.
Harris backdoors it to Kenyon Martin, and Kenyon takes the rim, the backboard. A couple of Spurs still got it home, and a chance to make it a 3-point play.
How strong against Kevin Willis.
A great job by Bowen reading that. That was like a triptych. He had that all mapped out right in front of him. Talking about a telegraph.
You cannot throw cross-court passes up across the top of the key.
And that field goal by Kenyon Martin snapped a drought of almost 7 minutes that dated back to the third quarter for the Nets without a field goal. He can't capitalize on the 3-point play again. couple times he's missed those opportunities tonight. 61-58. 3-point lead for San Antonio. About 10 minutes left.
They are ignoring Tim Duncan.
Duncan to Willis. Jump hook won't go though, and Kenyon Martin clears it off.
Well, they need to keep close and stay in this when New Jersey does. Because if you get behind by 7 or 8, you'll start wondering what the heck's going on.
And Duncan came over to help out Bowen and blocked the shot.
Duncan is looking at the referee and saying, how can this be? I've got the ball in my hands. I'm snatching it away from everyone. What a block. And then to come right back and have it.
And now Duncan gets the tip to Claxton, who was on the break immediately, leaving it for Ginobili. And he'll have to wait for help from the troops. Duncan.
Yeah, Duncan has got to torch Rodney Rogers here.
Goes through, was fouled by Jason Kidd.
You have that much of a size advantage over Rodney Rogers. You have to go to the hoop and get to the line.
Here comes Dikembe Mutombo. Aaron Williams will go out.
Well, it's fun watching Duncan operate because sometimes he knows he's not going to make the basket, or he doesn't know that, but his objective is to get to the line.
And to the line he goes, where he knocks it down.
We talked about Duncan now 3 for 3 for the night. Shooting 61% coming in to tonight's game, but including tonight, Tim Duncan has made 16 out of his last 23 free throws. So a very good percentage of late as the series is wound on.
Warming up at the right time. And Kenyon Martin slips and falls driving against Duncan, and we have another jump ball. Back-to-back trips down court have ended up in the circle.
Tim Duncan reminds me of Pete Sampras. Just so analytical, so precise, so methodical, classically trained in every aspect. The facial expression never changes, and he wins all the time.
I wonder if Tim Duncan can play basketball on clay.
Ginobili again behind the back on the break. Ginobili, if that goes. They'd build a statue for him in Bahia Blanca. Now look out. Willis and Kenyon Martin go chest to chest.
And a great job by Kevin Willis to just walk away. Just turn and walk away. Because those are two big guys who you don't want to have them get into anything.
I don't care if it went or not. I just want to see it again.
Oh, that's nice.
Around the back and hurdles the guy.
Oh, and now a little bit pushing and shoving and a technical. Who's it going to be on?
54, Rodney Rogers.
Actually, we might have 2.
That's a real smart play.
And it's only on Rogers.
Well,
I thought they were going to call 2.
By Ginobili. That was a cross between Jason Kidd and Edwin Moses, is what it was. And you're going to see Rodney Rogers. He's angry at the jump ball situations. He can't get where he wants to be. He shoves Bowen in the back. Gets a technical call.
How many times have we seen 3 jump balls in 3 possessions back to back to back? And this one's controlled. And a foul on Ginobili.
Oh, he's fiery. He's just going to get in there and care who you are. Get in there and get after the ball, get in the open court, get my floor burns.
Meanwhile, it's a 5-point game for the Spurs, and we approach 9 minutes.
Where's the leadership going to come from on the court from the New Jersey Nets? Who's going to settle him down? Who's going to get him into something on the offensive end? Who's going to get him to the free throw line? Where's Jason Kidd, please?
Rogers.
Oh, my.
Claxton pulls down the rebound. Smallest guy on the floor. Smallest guy on either roster.
Do you think Rodney Rogers is determined to shoot the ball?
Bowen, a 3. And Kenyon Martin snatches down the rebound, and he brings it down court on the break to Rogers. I think Kenyon wants everybody up. Duncan too strong off the glass, and Martin's got another rebound. His 11th.
We'll see if they can get something in the half court. Is that going to be a foul on Duncan or Willis?
Mutombo's got to watch out here. They cannot call a technical foul on Kevin Willis there. He just stood there. It was Mutombo that initiated every bit of that confrontation.
The Nets trying to even the NBA Finals at 2 games apiece. They had a 15-point lead in this half. They now trail by 3, and this game is getting chippy. There's Ginobili on the last drive, and then the collision between Martin and Willis. That almost led to a shove. This one is a shove. Rogers gets a technical as he lets Bowen have it in the back. And then Kevin Willis and Dikembe Mutombo down court on the other end. And that was the start of it. And then it escalated after Claxton picked up the personal foul. Mutombo sticks his finger in Willis' face and says, "Get that thing out of my face." And double technicals on those two as we went to break.
This is not about milk and cookies. This is men playing for the ultimate prize. And New Jersey knows they're up against it right now. 8 minutes. Offense for the Nets. Find somebody who's hot.
Tony Parker's back in for the Spurs out of that timeout. Jefferson, he's been the man tonight. Richard Jefferson has 16.
Well, I would be very surprised if the New Jersey Nets didn't get a healthy dose of Tim Duncan the last 7.5 minutes of this game.
But Mutombo's guarding him, and he's an outstanding defensive force.
Kenyon Martin came over to help out. Now Jackson with an errant pass.
Jeez. You're trying to throw it through somebody?
Come back to RJ. He's the one with the hot hand. Popovich has come back with Tony Parker.
Jefferson, baseline, got it! The lead is New Jersey's again. Spurs have gone over 3 minutes now without a field goal, and we've got 7 to play. Bowen couldn't quite get a square look at a 3. 3 on the shot clock now. Parker, the teardrop won't go. Duncan tried to stuff it. And Harris goes into the crowd to save it.
Pull it back.
1-on-5. If I'm Popovich, I'm not opposed to taking Parker out, putting Speedy back in, taking Jackson out, putting Ginobili back in.
How about Steve Kerr?
Jason Kidd goes through Jackson. Harris, who gave it up to save it, led to this on the other end.
Jason Kidd, who's been unable to get to the basket against Tony Parker or Speedy Claxton, finally finds a level of comfort and opportunity against Steven Jackson.
9 straight New Jersey points, and they lead by 4.
And now, one of the adjustments for New Jersey, Kerry Kittles guarding Tony Parker.
Duncan wants it. See Duncan down there yelling at his teammates, "Get me the ball."
Mutombo on him. Kidd comes to help out. Ginobili has an open 3, and he knocked it down.
I would let Mutombo guard Duncan one-on-one right now.
Well, yeah. Ginobili's out
Give him
there
a chance.
shooting
Give him
darts.
a chance. They're automatically double teaming every time.
1-point game. Nets by 1. 5:45 remaining in the ball game. And turnover, New Jersey.
Yeah, that was a tough one to handle.
New Jersey, though, in the midst of a 9-3 run of their own, and Richard Jefferson's answered the call for the Nets tonight. They lead 67-66. We've got 5.5 remaining in the ball game.
An epic defensive struggle. San Antonio.
Duncan short off the glass.
Spurs shooting 28% for the night and just trailed by 1.
If the Nets can't win this game, holding the opposition to under 30% shooting at home, you can't win this series.
Ginobili, and he stole another one, as he did in Game 3. He picked the pocket of Kenyon Martin. There's the shooting that Bill was talking about. It's not that the Nets are burning it up either.
Nice pass.
Left-hand hook by Robinson doesn't go. Out of bounds to the Spurs.
That was the first time coming out of that timeout that they didn't double team down on Duncan. So maybe Byron Scott has seen something out there and wants to give Mutombo a chance.
Ginobili. Robinson keeps it alive.
Well, that's what they're doing their damage tonight. 22 offensive rebounds for the Spurs on the evening and counting.
Here's Tim Duncan. Mutombo on it.
Not a lot of movement off the ball by the Spurs.
Duncan over Mutombo. Wow. So Tim Duncan's given San Antonio the lead back by 1. We're under 4.5 minutes. Brad Nessler, Bill Walton, Tom Tolbert, Michelle Tafoya, Stu Scott, Mike Tirico, and the shoot-around gang. All of us with you with 4 minutes and change remaining in Game 4. Mutombo underneath. Oh, and he threw it in with a hook.
Beautiful. Classically trained.
In what?
Under 4 minutes.
That was over Robinson and Duncan.
Nets back in front by 1. Ginobili, he's had ice water in his veins all night. Doesn't care when he takes the shots. He gives this one up, though. Bowen, he'll take a jumper. And missed it, and the shot clock goes off.
I'm wondering if Tony Parker is going to be able to step up and hit a big shot.
Greg Popovich.
And Mutombo, look at this thing right here. Over Robinson, over Duncan.
He shot that over 14 foot of defense. New Jersey by 1. We approach 3.5 minutes. They've got to have this game.
It's all set offense for New Jersey. Not the strong part of their game.
Kenyon Martin and Tim Duncan or Bowen. It's on Duncan.
Well, they're forced to come and double team and help Tony Parker out because Jason Kidd is just too big and too strong.
Excuse me, Tommy. Don't forget, coming up next, local news, Nightline and Jimmy Kimmel Live, except on the West Coast. So Kenyon Martin has only 2 baskets in the second half, but 16 points for the game. 2 for 6 from the free throw line. And this one he rips. Vote for the NBA Finals MVP. Brought to you by Verizon Wireless.
But Martin gives the Nets some sort of force in the set offense. His ability to drive, to deliver the jump hook, to get to the free throw line. Make a shot.
He got 1 of 2, giving his team a 2-point lead. Spurs looking to tie it up with under 3:20 to go. Duncan in the paint to Robinson. Robinson is blocked but fouled. And it's on Kenyon Martin. And that's 5.
I like the strategy of maybe getting Duncan the ball a little further away from the bucket.
Robinson, who's 4 for 5 from the free throw line, goes back courtesy of that foul by Kenyon Martin. And David Robinson has had a good night with 13 points.
The ability to win the close games. No one has won more close games in this year's playoffs than the New Jersey Nets.
Doesn't get much closer than this, does it? 70 apiece. Jason Kidd going by everybody. The wrap around to Mutombo, but he missed in close. And Robinson had the rebound.
Mutombo wanted the foul, but at this point of the game, NBA Finals, you got to earn your buckets.
Tony Parker has a look at the shot clock. He's had an awful night. Ginobili inside, and Ginobili's foul.
I'd probably try not to let him go left.
All tied at 70. This is the 328th NBA Finals game. Only 4 times has a team shot under 30%. San Antonio shooting about 29. They have a chance to win. What do you see?
Well, the superstars, it's superstar time right now. Jason Kidd's got to take over this ball game. The ball must be in his hands. And as for the San Antonio Spurs, they got to move bodies instead of just coming down, throw it into Tim Duncan. They become a little too predictable.
All right, Brad, back to you.
All right, fellas, thank you. 2:43 remaining. Jason Kidd and Tony Parker, their battle tonight has gone in Jason Kidd's favor. However, Speedy Claxton's come in there to fill some of the spots and some of the holes left by Parker. And Ginobili, who's come in into his first finals and had his best game right now, is at the free throw line and has given his team a lead. 9 points, now 10 for Ginobili.
Manu mania taking over the world.
Let's not forget about Jason Kidd's 8 rebounds as well. I mean, he does everything. That's what makes him so special. Let's see how they handle this zone.
2-point ball game with 2.5 to go.
Mutombo up high, not the strong part of his game.
8 on the shot clock. Kidd trying to get it to Kittles with a no look, and Ginobili stole it.
I would say they failed that exam right there.
Quickness of Manu Ginobili.
Ginobili's ability to steal the basketball in the last 2 ball games has been huge for San Antonio. Tony Parker way off the mark again. His bad night continues, and we've got 2 minutes left in regulation.
What did Speedy Claxton do wrong to go to the bench?
Watch him going left.
Martin over Robinson, and David Robinson is gone.
Yeah, you got to shade him.
But he comes back with that jump hook into the middle.
Yeah, I know, but initially he will go to the left. And if you can take a half step ahead, David Robinson fouling out with 14 points. I mean, he loves off this left block to go left. And if you play him for that, maybe you get there half a step sooner.
That's a tough call against David Robinson. Right?
David leaves with 14 points and 7 rebounds.
I guess he fouled him with his sternum falling away from the
Let's check in with Michelle. She's right behind David.
Yeah, on offense, the Spurs don't want to call plays. Just let the game flow. Find Tim Duncan. On Kmart, they're trying to go after him and maybe get him to foul out. They are concerned, Brad and guys, that Jason Kidd is going to try to take over in this last 151. Back to you.
You alluded to Kenyon Martin having 5 fouls.
And this delay right here is the anger and disappointment of Greg Popovich, who is allowed to substitute for a fouled out. Used it all just to show the referees that, hey, you might want to rethink that call.
Kenyon Martin at the free throw line as we check in with Stuart Scott.
Brad, the last time out, Byron Scott was debating whether or not to bring Aaron Williams in for Dikembe Mutombo. If he had brought Williams in, he would have helped double with Tim Duncan. He left Mutombo in, and he's going to let Mutombo play Duncan head up. Back to you guys.
Meanwhile, Kenyon Martin at the free throw line has missed 4 of his last 5 from the line. Got the second one, though. 18 for Kenyon Martin. It's a 1-point ball game with 1:49 left.
You know, if I'm New Jersey, I'll double up Tony Parker. And he's thinking about it right now. I'm going to leave Parker open and make him make a shot.
They've got Jason Kidd guarding Manu Ginobili. That's how much respect they have for him.
Duncan trying to make something happen. Not that time off the glass. Jefferson clears it.
And what did Sean Elliott say? Don't just rely on Duncan. You got to have movement away from the ball to get other guys involved.
Duncan thought that he was fouled the last trip down, and he shows as much anger as he's shown. Kenyon Martin inside. Duncan stripped it. Martin's got another chance, and Duncan blocked it again. Can he get 3? Did. Nope. Not the third time.
Wow, was that reminiscent of Charles Smith against the Bulls a few years back? Underneath the bucket, up, block. Let me get it back. Up, block. Let me get it back one more time, please, somebody. Send me to the line.
Charles Smith, there was 5 self-checks in that.
Kenyon Martin can tie the ball game right here. And he does. He's hit his last 2. We're tied momentarily, at least at 72, with 72 seconds remaining. Martin taking his time. Got them both. New Jersey by 1.
I would try to get Duncan and Manu Ginobili involved in a play. Those are the 2 guys going for the Spurs.
A minute to play now. Duncan has to give it up. Ginobili, a huge 3. Not this time. The rebound is Kittles.
And a great box out by Kenyon Martin, taking Willis off the offensive glass.
Jason Kidd has a look at the clock that shows now 40 seconds and 10 on the shot clock. Back in Parker in. He'll take it over Tony Parker. Mutombo with a rebound.
Don't need a foul.
Timeout. Mutombo.
It may be too fast, too furious shortly. Nets trying to even it up. You don't ever want to buck history. It's nice to make history, but don't try to fight it. No team has ever come back from 3-1 deficit to win the NBA Finals. 27 times they have tried. The Nets know that. They're trying to even the best of 7 at 2 games apiece. That would assure that it would send the series back to Texas. There's your score, 73-72. 33 seconds left. A 24-second shot clock that's been reset. Guys, what do they do here?
Well, look for Jason Kidd to get the ball out high, try to back in Parker, and if you come to double team, watch Martin cutting to the hole.
If you're the Spurs, defend without fouling and rebound.
Here's Kidd backing in Parker. 6 on the shot clock. He'll take it from 15 from the elbow, looking for the rebound. Who's going to get it? Kittles does.
They got a foul.
They have to foul Jason Kidd immediately. Parker does with 9.1 left.
Ginobili had that rebound. It was in his hands.
Well, they forced Kidd into an extremely tough shot. And I think Duncan was a little upset because he thought he had the rebound. But you can't fault Ginobili for getting after the rebound aggressively.
Jason Kidd has hit his 2 free throws that he has taken tonight. That one he made as well. It's a 2-point game. Kidd can make it 3 and does. 75-72. Timeout, San Antonio.
Yeah. Now, if you're New Jersey, I think you foul in this situation and make it a free throw contest, and don't let guys like Ginobili or Bowen or Parker or Jackson tie this thing up.
.1 seconds remaining in regulation. The Spurs, who need 3 more points, haven't hit a field goal in 4 minutes and 23 seconds. Now they've got to have one in the last 9 seconds, or we're even at 2.
Set a bunch of screens here. Try to get somebody coming off wide open. Throw it in high to Tim Duncan. Hopefully there'll be some collapsing defense. Byron Scott is saying stay at home and guard the 3-point shot. Tim Duncan can execute a dribble handoff to set up a 3-point shot.
Ginobili in the playoffs and tonight at the 40-plus mark. Bowen, who was the best 3-point shooter percentage-wise in the NBA during the regular season, is only 1 for 5 tonight. Tony Parker has had 3 great games until tonight, and it went south on him. So you see the 3-point shooters, and you see the owner of the Nets, Louis Katz, leading the cheers. His team is 9.1 seconds away from tying the NBA Finals at 2 games apiece. The Nets will come out with Kidd, Kittles, Jefferson, Martin, and Mutombo, and we've yet to see the Spurs break their huddle.
Does Popovich come out with Steve Kerr?
I don't foul right away, and the reason being is you're not a great free throw shooting team. You got a bunch of 71% free throw shooters out there. I don't want to turn into a free throw shooting contest. If it gets under 5, then I foul, and don't let him get a 3 up.
Bill asked the question, it's been answered. Steve Kerr, the old veteran who did in Dallas in the Western Conference Finals, will be the trigger man. He could be the guy that gets it right back. Willis, Duncan, Parker, and Ginobili out there with him. Here's the last 9 seconds of game 4. Kerr having trouble getting it in. Got it into Duncan. Duncan driving on Kenyon Martin and lays it in with 5.6 left.
Don't let Kidd catch it.
Run the baseline if you're Kenyon Martin.
Kidd catches it, fouled immediately. 1-point game, 4.8 left.
You try in that situation to be on the front side, make him throw over the top. But Jason Kidd is just too skilled, as is this young man here, the league's MVP, waltzing in for an uncontested layup.
Kenyon Martin thinking about 5 fouls, perhaps, and had to let him go by as Jason Kidd goes to the free throw line. 4 for 4 from the stripe tonight, 5 for 5. Local news, Nightline and Jimmy Kimmel Live, except on the West Coast, follows our game 4. It's come down to 4.8 seconds. Kidd again can give his team a 3-point lead. And he does. Jason Kidd hits the big free throws when he needed them. Timeout San Antonio with 4.8 left. They need 3 to send it to overtime.
But this is where you definitely foul. Don't even give him a three-point attempt.
I agree. Under 5 seconds, you don't let him get off a three-pointer. As soon as they catch it beyond the arc. In fact, I would have all my defenders surrounding the arc. I'd have one guy back there protecting the bucket and 4 guys surrounding the arc and not let him get off a three-pointer.
Don't forget, all of us will be back here with you on Friday night for Game 5, and we're 4.8 seconds away from knowing that you can take that little arrow off of Game 6, because there will be one if the Nets hold on to this lead. (77-74). 2-game-to-1 lead for the Spurs. It could have easily been a 3-game-to-none lead. Remember, the Nets, their only win came in Game 2, 87-85. And it came down to the final seconds, and it was Steven Jackson in Game 2. As Jason Kidd went for the steal, Tony Parker was able to get it to Jackson, had a wide open look. He'd hit 4 3-pointers in the second half. May have seen Jason Kidd out of the corner of his eye, missed that one, and that's how the Nets survived just to get to this point where they did have a win in the series. And Rod Thorne pacing back and forth in the box, looking for his team to even it at 2 games apiece.
I don't know if you have Steve Kerr inbound this ball. I would have a bigger player inbound and have Steve Kerr be a shooter.
Switch all picks for New Jersey around the 3-point line.
Danny Ferry is checked in. He's a good 3-point shooter for a big man. He'll be the trigger man. Kerr is in there as well. Ginobili 2. Final 4.8. Needing 3 points. Ginobili gets a look. Gets his man in the air for the tie. No! Duncan puts it back up, but it's not enough. And the Nets have won it.
New Jersey Nets
77-76, the Nets win. And the series is tied. Jason Kidd hit 6 free throws in the second half. 5 of them down the stretch. Here's a look at the last play.
Ginobili gets a great look. The screen by Duncan frees him up. He even had a chance to pump fake.
And then you see Duncan put it back in. It was too little or too late.
Give Kenyon Martin a lot of effort for getting over there. He saw that he pump faked, and he made him shoot that shot a little higher than he wanted to, and that's why it came up short. Right there, that extra effort by Martin getting up in his face.
That's a great look that Ginobili gets.
Well, that's why you switch all picks. You don't get caught on a pick in that situation.
Ginobili watches the miss go. Kenyon Martin says nope. And it's 2 games apiece. Stuart Scott.
Jason Kidd, you guys had that big lead and you saw the Spurs run off that 21-5 run in the 3rd quarter. What goes on in your huddle when they have a run like that?
Well, we knew, they're a great team, so we knew they were going to make a run. I didn't know it was 21-5, but we just kept our composure, and we got stops when we had to, and we made shots, and Kmart was huge for us again, and it was a team effort, but Kmart led us tonight, and we never panicked. We just tried to get stops after they made that run and try to get the ball to go in the basket.
Does it deflate the team at all when they shoot as poorly as they did and still make it a close game?
Well, we've won some games like that, and this game is funny. You don't always have to shoot a high percentage to win. And again, 2 teams are trying to slug it out defensively, and we were fortunate to get a win tonight.
How much did pride play a factor, not wanting to lose 2 straight in your own house?
Well, we're very comfortable at home, and that probably helped us tonight in the sense of not panicking, and the crowd was great. But now it's 2-2. We're 1 more game at home, and if we can protect home, we go into San Antonio up. So we got to just come back and get 1 more game.
Jason Kidd, 1 rebound, 2 assists away from a triple-double. Let's go back to Brad.